Hello and welcome to the Brick News, the weekly show on all things brick building, where we talk about set updates and announcements from all the major brands, mocks of the week, and a few reading recommendations as well. Information is presented as always by setdb.org, the best source for set information on the internet. And this is where we are going to go, and we will start with sets and set updates from the brand BlueBrixx over here from Central Europe, aka Germany. And here we have first the Apocalyptic War Machine 108779. This is now a BlueBrixx special. I think they did a similar truck couple of months ago under the ModBrixx sub-brand, but anyhow, this is now a 1x18 scale vehicle. I guess it is one, I don't know, I'm not really into this apocalyptic stuff myself, but I guess this is, I don't know, something from Mad Max, I guess. Anyhow, this set has 2,244 pieces and is still an announcement at this point in time, so we do not know its actual price point. As always with BlueBrixx, they do only give out prices the moment the set becomes available. Anyhow, my apologies, but I can tell you it is 36 inches in length or 92 centimeters for those of you who think metric. So this is not a small set. It is entirely black though, so I don't know. Personally, I do believe that I don't think that's going to be much fun because it basically means you have only black pieces on the table. Please also keep in mind this is a BlueBrixx special, so there is no back separation or anything like that. So basically, you have to sort the pieces yourself, which is okay. I actually quite enjoy building BlueBrixx specials myself, but because this is all like 95% all black, it seems. I guess this will not be an easy one. Plus, the question is, of course, because a black piece is always problematic. Most manufacturers don't do them very well. And basically, no manufacturer is doing them really well. I mean, Cobi is doing pretty good black, but most manufacturers, including Lego, have that problem that they never really look deeply black. Scratches are an issue, plus all this milky residue that you have quite often on black pieces. Anyhow, here we go with that car, and then we have an availability of the 107818 detached house in construction. So this is basically a modular building size. I think I did talk about this set. Yes, it was already announced a year ago. Now finally available, 1,751 pieces, and BlueBrixx is asking for $65. As always, as I keep telling, please keep in mind that over here in Europe, that includes value-add tax. So please keep this in consideration. So I think it's quite a bargain, actually. I mean, it's not a full house. That's the idea, right? But nevertheless, it has almost 1,800 pieces. It almost, it can fill the slot of an entire modular, and it's just $65. So that's not too shabby. But yeah, I did talk about this before, so let's keep this quick. We move on to one of actually several BlueBrixx play sets that have come available in recent days. So I just picked this one because I think personally it's one of the most interesting ones. 108125, the large tractor with tools, 692 pieces, 2 minifigs. And I think the interesting part here is for this set that is going to cost you $30 is that not because of the 2 minifigures, and the tractor is also quite regular. It's actually quite similar to the Lego City tractor's design, but this thing also has several machineries that you can attach to the vehicle. So as you can see, there's a lot of option of stuff that you can attach to the tractor, and this is actually something that to this day I think Lego hasn't done. So I think, yeah, there's a lot to play with for kids in this set. Then another BlueBrixx play set that I picked for this week's show is the Dentist 108283. I mean, I would argue it's more than just a dentist, almost feels like a small clinic, but it has 680 pieces, 4 minifigs, and what I really like about this design is it's quite simple. It's a kit set, but it is highly modular, and there's a lot of regular bricks in there. So it's something that I personally don't really like that much anymore about Lego's kit sets nowadays, is that they are quite panel heavy. So I'm missing just bricks, and brick build stuff in many kit sets from Lego nowadays, especially in City, but also Friends. And I mean, this one has a ton of windows, but next to that, it seems to be relatively regularly bricked. Then a very tiny update, 108348. the Pirates Island brick. So some of you may say, wait a second, we had this set before, and you were right, 105328. I actually did bid this one. So what BlueBrixx is basically doing here, and they do this actually with a lot of sets nowadays, that they are switching designs from the BlueBrixx special concept, which is, let's say, a bare bone concept by means of no back separation, or no building phases, so to say, only digital instructions and no paper instructions, and very, let's say, simple box design, to the more colorful, including paper instruction, concept of BlueBrixx Pro. So BlueBrixx Specials are the bare-bone ones, and BlueBrixx Pro are the ones including paper manuals or paper instructions. However, for whatever reason, no digital instructions. So if you prefer digital instructions, I guess BlueBrixx Special is more interesting, and if you prefer paper instructions, you go for BlueBrixx Pro. For whatever reason, they don't do both in neither of the two series. I've never understood why. I think they're the only manufacturer I know who's doing it like this. Like, I have one line only digital and one line only paper, and you have to pick and choose. But anyhow, nowadays they're transitioning more and more designs over from the special / digital over to pro/paper instructions and box art, colorful box art. Don't know why, but this is the story. However, one other difference is that usually in the pro sets is where they throw in their own minifigures. So in this variant, you have 5 additional minifigures, but you have to pay that. Actually, I think it's $15 higher. So you basically pay $3 per minifigure. What is now also available is 2 more RoboCop sets. I think I talked about the ED something mech from the last week, I think. This week, however, it is the regular RoboCop. Here we have 2 versions. The larger one, which is in 1:4 scale, so that is not a small figure. It has 2,577 pieces, 106,899 by BlueBrixx, now available for $150, 5.8 cents a piece. As far as I can tell, there is like a bazillion metallic silver pieces in there, which is, I think, one of the reasons for the relatively high price point, considering it's a BlueBrixx set. But nevertheless, it's a huge RoboCop. However, if it's too big for you, then the smaller one may be for you. Instead, 106902, this one has only 423 pieces. And to get in comparison, this one here is 5 inches in height, and the large one is 10.6, so that's actually a lot more. 428 pieces for the small one, $28, 6.6 cents a piece. Then another set that is again just a migration from special to pro, the carpentry building. This actually is quite a German thing, because this building was actually this was like in the center of a kids TV series, like, I don't know, I think it was already old when I was a kid, and this is decades ago. So I think, I don't know from which time era it is exactly, maybe from the, I don't know, 70s or something. So that's why this actually is one of the highly sought after sets over here in Germany. Actually, the original BlueBrixx special version, 106807, you can see this now here in the set DB. These are relatively high numbers, so 38 people have this one in their collection. I mean, of people that maintain their collection in our database, and still 29 have this on their wish list, which is quite a high number, especially considering that this one is not available anymore, because, like I said, BlueBrixx has now migrated also this one to the Pro line, 108372, and again it got more expensive. I guess paper manuals do cost money, but yeah, here you go. And then we have also available the Golden Eagle 108207. I think this is an interesting one. It is a bird, but it has 1,522 pieces. 1:3 scale is what BlueBrixx claims. So this is, I guess, the largest bird they have ever done. At least that's my guess. Maybe let's check this out. BlueBrixx. And then, yeah, it is by far the largest one. So the common raven was so far the largest, and this one had 660 pieces. The new one is more than twice the size, almost 2.5 times. So this is a big one, $80, 5.3 cents a piece. And then we can make this quick. These are 2 German trucks. Again, like I said, it's the German brand, so that's understandable. 108783. From Technisches Hilfswerk. I have actually no idea what's the best way to translate this. This is kind of like civil service. So basically, when This is a federal service over here in Germany, and basically whenever police and firefighters and first responders need like additional support, like machines that they usually don't have on site, like huge enormous pumps and stuff like that, very large cranes, and these folks come in and they basically provide support. This is literally what Technisches Hilfswerk means. It means Organization for Technical Support, I guess, is the best translation, and this is what these guys do. They are also the ones that the feds are sending in, like, or sending to when something huge and, you know, enormous catastrophes happen somewhere around the world. Then usually what Germany is sending as support are these folks. So anyhow, here we have now a vintage truck out of their portfolio, so this for sure does not drive around anymore nowadays, like the name suggests. I guess it's kind of an old timer from, I don't know from exactly from which time, but yeah, I think it's a neat looking truck. And for those of you who are not familiar with BlueBrixx, for instance, this corner piece here, this curved slope, this corner curved slope, is actually a BlueBrixx exclusive piece. You can't get this one from Lego. Anyhow, 503 pieces. It's just an announcement at this point in time. And then they have a more modern version. Personally, I've never seen one of those. It's called Bi-Directional Vehicle, which is interesting because literally that is what it is. I don't know why they have it, but I guess it's something that does exist in reality. I haven't done actually any research, so I've never seen one of these before, but I guess it is legit. 108782, 450 pieces. Again, only announcement. And then what BlueBrixx calls a spy vehicle limousine. My guess is that this is supposed to be a BMW 7 Series, and I guess the one that was driven around by James Bond, 108784. It has 1,621 pieces. Again, only announcement, so we don't know the price point yet. Plus, I must say, I don't really like the design. I'm not really sure. The entire roof section looks weird. So yeah, I don't really know. But at the end of the day, I guess if you're a BMW fan, this may be for you. I guess, you know, this car has also been shown, for instance, in Transporter or something like that. So in case you're a fan of that, this may be for you as well. And this one here, I guess, there's no English translation for the name. This is interesting. 108789. So this is again without a license, but my guess is that this is supposed to be a TARDIS from Doctor Who. That's just my guess, and it's again from the ModBrixx brand category. If there's something edgy in the BlueBrixx portfolio when it comes to pop culture reference without having a proper license, usually they put this in the ModBrixx brand. Yeah, that's what they do. If they overdo it, usually I block the set in the SetDB, but I guess this one is kind of okay because to be honest, somebody told me that's from Doctor Who. I didn't even know. Anyhow, let's move on to Cobi, and here we have a ton of announcements. Or not really yet announcements. It's more like stuff that is coming in from different sources. So Cobi themselves, they use usually Instagram to announce this stuff, and however also sometimes some of the retailers also have some information. So I've multiple sources. For many of them, I don't yet have a full understanding of the price point, especially from Cobi themselves. But nevertheless, let's go through it. So first of all, Cobi is now also entering the arena on Formula One race cars. So they have, it seems, a license from Alpine, or Alpine. I think it's a French subsidiary of Peugeot, I think, if I recall correctly. I'm pretty sure it's a French team, so I guess that's why you can't say Alpine, you have to say Alpine, I'm pretty sure. But anyhow, Cobi has two sets here now announced. So the 1684 is only the car. It seems to have a similar size to a Speed Champion, I guess. So if you check this out, you can just click in the SetDB on the Alpine link to get all the licensed cars. So this is basically the same as this one here. However, I guess the big difference is that, of course, Cobi, it's all pet printed, while Lego is all stickers. But nevertheless, I think this will be an interesting competition. This is a 1x35 scale card. So, I mean, it does look quite rough at this point in time. Please keep in mind, this is a very simple render. as Cobi usually does until they have the set finished and have proper pictures. Anyhow, I don't know the prices for all the regions, but BlueBrixx, at least so far, has already put this in their store for $30. I mean, I guess it will not release until July 2025, at least over here in Europe. I guess for other areas of the world, it will take a bit more time. 290 pieces, one minifigure though. So, but however, what comes even more early is, I guess, more or less the same car, but as part of a pit stop set. A 1685 is this one going to be. It will have, of course, more pieces, 490 to be more precise, 2 minifigures. And BlueBrixx has this one listed in for $40 US, to give you an idea. My guess is that the car will be more or less the same, but it comes 3 months earlier to make sure, you know, that all the folks who have the money in their pockets are going to buy the larger set. And then those of you, and then if you have a bit more, if you're willing to wait a little bit more, you can also just buy the car. Will be interesting though to compare this one to the Lego version. And then we have, we will know that Cobi will release in April a Dornier Val. 1384. So this was a German airplane. Actually, this one here, Cobi, is referencing to the Amundsen Polar Expedition using the Dornier Val. However, this airplane has been used. I think it has been mostly manufactured between First and Second World War. Has been in use. For instance, Lufthansa used this to cross the Atlantic, as far as I know, to transport post stuff, like brief, I guess, packages and letters and stuff. So, however, it has also been used in military service throughout, I guess, this time. In this era, in the 30s especially. 478 pieces, one minifigure for the set, and BlueBrixx has this one currently listed in. Again, this is very early, just gives you an idea what the price may be. And then Cobi is making an F-15EX, so the Eagle 2 5900, a 1x48 scale set. This is not a small set, 743 pieces. This is relatively high, on the higher side for an airplane 1x48. So I think the F-15 is not necessarily that much bigger than others, but I think I just recently built an F-35, and this was more like in the 600 something ballpark of pieces. So that's quite interesting. 2 minifigures though, so you have the pilot and the weapons officer or co-pilot. I don't know, I guess it's called different in every Air Force, but this is actually, by the way, US Air Force version as far as I can tell. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. The Eagle 2, I think, is quite an interesting airplane. I mean, I think the US Air Force is buying more than 100 of these, right? I mean, we are talking about an era where we have an F-22 and an F-35, but still, this thing has its place around the world, but especially, of course, in the US Air Force. So quite an interesting airplane, I do believe. And so yeah, we're looking forward to Cobi making a set about it. What I'm personally even looking forward even more to is the F-104 Starfighter 2426. Actually, I was just very recently in a German museum where they had one of these, and it's quite an impressive airplane. I mean, it does look like a rocket, you know, with a cockpit, but it is an interesting airplane. I think it has quite an interesting history, to say the least. I think we will also come in a second to the German version, but at least over here in Germany or so, they had a lot of crashes with these. I think what the German Air Force tried to do, or tried to get out of the Starfighter, was bit of debatable, let's put it that way. And as a result, they had a ton of problems, because I think they also used it as a bomber and stuff like that. But anyhow, 2426 is going to be the US version, and it has an entirely different number than the German version, because this one here is a Vietnam era Starfighter, and as a result, it goes under the historical collection Vietnam War. By Cobi, 430 pieces though, 1x48 scale, and it's expected to be released in June 2025. The same as the German version, and this, like I said, has an entirely different number, because this is not Vietnam, this is just German Air Force 5907, and that basically means it goes under the Armed Forces umbrella, which is the line that Cobi is using basically for everything post Second World War that is not in one of the more dedicated lines like the Vietnam one. So this again is a collaboration also with Deutsches Marine Museum, so German Maritime Museum in Wilhelmshaven. So this specific one is actually from the German Navy. Anyhow, next to that, besides of course the German Navy's or German Air Force color scheme, it is more or less the same set as far as I can tell at this point in time. There is nothing about minifigures, so my guess is that this is a design where you only have like half a minifigure in the cockpit, which in this case is Cobi usually does not count them as full minifigure, which is okay, I guess. Anyhow, a 5907, again a starfighter. I definitely intend to build this one. Then they have another Willys MB, which is interesting. I mean, Cobi has done a ton of these, and in this scale, like 1/35, they have done, actually this is, I should go by release. I'm pretty sure, no, I don't have this. Let me just check this. So let's do a different search. Cobi Willys. So Cobi has done, of course, a lot of 1/12 versions, but they also did these smaller versions, 1/35. And here we have already a version with trailer. So this was back in the day, the 2297. I think, yeah, you can still buy this at least over here in Europe. So this is more or less, as far as I can tell, or is going to be, again, it's just an announcement at this point in time, going to be the same thing. It just has a different color scheme. So if you're more into this one, this may be for you. 3132 BlueBrixx has this one listed in for $30. Then we will have another Sherman. Actually, this one, yeah, I did talk about this one today. I think I have talked about it before. No, I never did. This has already been announced quite a while ago, but actually it did become available over here, I think, with a couple of European retailers, and Cobi has also put this in their own store. This is why I do have the list price of $50. It is an M4 Sherman, though. I mean, nothing new. I mean, Cobi has done like a bazillion Sherman tanks, 1/35 scale. 3126 is this one. It's going to have 2 minifigures, 663 pieces. Price point, I don't know. BlueBrixx says they will have it in store for $40 if I see this correctly here, which would be quite a bargain, actually. So yeah, not too shabby. By the way, new feature in the set DB. As always, I try as far as I can do. It's actually a lot of work to provide this kind of historical context for such models. But what is new now, if you go on the heading, it's actually a link, and then you can come to the category, which is interesting because there's a ton of Shermans out there, and a lot of brands like BlueBrixx, Lots. I mean, this is a pink one. Okay, it may not be a real Sherman, but anyhow, BlueBrixx. So a lot of course, I mean, it's one of the most well-known tanks on the planet. So I guess that's why a lot of companies have done Shermans in the past. Another tank that may not be familiar to that many people is the Mark V. So this is the First World War tank by the British, 2995, a new version. So this is for sure not the first Mark V. Let me just check. I have not done this link thingy for the Mark V yet. So let me check. So Cobi did a Mark V with the 2984. And this one had, let us check, it was also 1/35 scale model. It had 837 pieces. So the new version has like 7 additional pieces, a different minifigure, I guess. It is a very similar tank. So this seems to me at least at this point in time, I don't have that many pictures, just as a small update, maybe a couple of fixes, maybe a few more prints. I'm not sure yet what exactly is behind this set, what the difference or the changes are going to be. What is also interesting, that Cobi is doing another Poodle in quotes. So this is a German Panzer V, a Panther 2655. For those of you who are not familiar, the Poodle was actually a tank that during the fighting in Warsaw, the Polish troops managed to steal, I think, 2 Panther tanks. And one of those they called Poodle, and I guess they called it something in Polish, and this is just a translation, but you get the idea. Anyhow, so this is a very famous thing and a kind of a symbol for the resistance of the Polish people against the German army. And however, what is different is with this one here, and I've built the predecessor. But the predecessor, I'm pretty sure, was just the Polish insignia. So the only difference here, it seems to be that you can now switch in 2-in-1 fashion between German and Polish insignia. And as a result, you have only two minifigures, a Polish soldier and a German tank driver. I think that's about that. BlueBrixx again has already a price point with $110 US. Again, we are very, very early. Take all the pricing and also potential release dates with a grain of salt. Then we have a Panzerkampfwagen 4. So yeah, German tank 4. This is, I think, one of the most manufactured tanks by the German Second World War. For sure not as popular or as well known as the Tiger and the Panther, but because it was a much lighter tank. But this is actually the main workhorse, or was the main workhorse of the German army during World War II. 3127. I mean, Cobi has done a bazillion of these. 640 pieces, 2 minifigures. This one though, again with a tank driver and a regular German army grunt from back in the day. And then we will have another Roman set. And again, I don't have a date yet, but it's going to be kind of a, in quotes, battle pack by Cobi for the for the Roman army builders, for sure not Germans. Actually, these guys came to Germany to conquer Germany. Not these guys especially, though, because these are Praetorian guards, so the personal guard of the emperor. And again, however, and I think this has also been my criticism of the regular Roman grunts that they did with this other pack, is that they also always have an officer included, which kind of is a problem if you want to build an army out of these, because you have just 2 regular grunts or guards or legionnaires, whatever you may call it. You just have too many officers. That's the problem, right? And this is, I think, a huge mistake that they made already with the Roman soldier pack, and now that we have the same problem here. I mean, if you just want to buy 1 or 2 of these, you are fine, but if you want to go into true army building, then you're in trouble, I think. I mean, you have horses in there, which is always a good thing, but again, you need just more grunts and less officers. And then we have something that is, I do believe, very, very cool, and this is Raving the Flag on Iwo Jima. Pretty sure I've pronounced this wrong, but I mean, everybody knows the scene, not just Americans. I guess this is one of the most well-known pictures of the Pacific War of all time. And yeah, I mean, there's not much to add. What is cool though is that this, of course, is not just this famous scene. It's kind of also the ultimate battle pack if you want to build a US army with, you know, Cobi minifigures. And I mean, I don't have a price point yet, but this could be the ultimate way, or the best way by far, to get your hands onto a ton of minifigures. And I must say, personally, I was most of the time struggling with the Cobi minifigure. For me, it never really worked for me, let's put it that way, but I'm getting used to it. So I guess it's the best way, and by far the cheapest way, I'm pretty sure, to get your hands onto Second World War figures. Because if you look at some of these prices that some of these companies ask for, who are retrofitting Lego minifigures to fit into Second World War, then I guess this one is a lot cheaper. However, it is not a cheap set though. $25 US is, again, just a prediction by BlueBrixx in this case, but let's wait. Here I should immediately start with that the pricing is entirely wrong. This is a mishap in the ZDB. So $60 is actually something that I would look at for the German Bunker Regelbau 667. So 3136, and yeah, it is a German bunker. There's a cannon in there. The box art says that you will have also 2 minifigures. However, we can't see them on the picture. But I guess it's going to be 2 German Wehrmacht soldiers. 630 pieces. It's a bunker. Yeah, I guess for me it's a bunker. There's not much to say about it. It's not really an exciting building, but if you are in the market for one of these, this may be for you. Something that I'm personally really looking forward to, and I'm pretty sure a lot of folks will do so as well. And that is that Cobi will re-release or update the Titanic, finally. And I'm talking 1x300 scale Titanic. So this is not the 1x700 that they did very recently. This is the full deal. And I think, yeah, it looks amazing. Like Cobi says here on the picture, under construction. So take, like all the announcements I just talked about, take this with a lot of grain of salt. And we don't even have the release time yet. But I think the important message is Cobi wants to do another updated Titanic. It's about time, I want to say. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to what they have in, for us in store. What are the fixes, the updates, the improvements. For sure, the entire stand situation is different, which I think looks amazing. And yeah, really looking forward to this build. 3,230 pieces. Give you a price indication. BlueBrixx says $260. So let's see if this is actually going to be the price when the set actually releases. And then we have another update or refresh of the UH60 Sikorsky Blackhawk 5906. Again, Cobi has done a Blackhawk before, the 5817. Back in the day, it had 2 minifigures, 905 pieces, and the new version we are talking about today will have more pieces, but just 1 minifigure. And of course, an entirely different color scheme. So this is more like a dark tan color compared to the other one was, I think, more like the black, dark bluish gray color scheme. So this is a big difference. And like I said, it has more pieces. So I guess there are also a couple of updates in the construction. Unfortunately, only 1 minifigure, which is a bit unfortunate. But nevertheless, another Blackhawk. And like as you can see, I've already put availability alert in the setup for myself because I definitely want to build one of those. If you're more into fighter jets or fighter airplanes in the Second World War, the Supermarine Spitfire Mark II 9E may be for you. 5764. This is a 1x32 scale Spitfire. So similar situation. Cobi has done one of those in this green and gray color scheme. The back in the day, the predecessor of in quotes 5725 had 342 pieces. The new one has 352. So my guess is that the construction will be almost the same. It's just a different color scheme. I guess it is a color scheme maybe from the Desert War against Rommel, something like that. I'm not really that much into the Royal Air Force during Second World War, so I can't be sure. Maybe they use one of these color schemes also in the Mediterranean, like Italy. I don't know. I guess many of you know this better than me. But anyhow, 352 pieces in the 5764. BlueBrixx has currently listed this one for $50. And then we have the US Control Tower, 3125. This is also a set that they did before. However, this time it's just a regular Second World War series set. I think they did this. There was a computer game where Cobi had a license. One of these real-time strategy Second World War computer games. I forgot the name. I think it was the third game of its name. That's what I do remember. But anyhow, the point here is that as far as I can tell, it's a very similar set, just without the license, which of course is completely unnecessary anyhow. This is just more or less the same thing. 3125, 664 pieces though. A motorcycle, the tower itself, and 2 minifigures, a female officer as far as I can tell, and then a regular grunt. And yeah, it looks quite good. I think it is a nice addition to your Second World War dioramas. With that, we're moving on to a Volkswagen, where also now Cobi has a license, and they will do a 1x12 variant of the T2 camper van by Volkswagen, which I think, at least over here in Germany, this is one of the it's a highly regarded old-timer. People love this thing. The T1, the T2, the same way. 24361. And yeah, Cobi is doing a 1x12 with 2,650 pieces. $160 is currently an potential price point. And they will also do the same that they do with other Volkswagen cars, by the way, also smaller versions like 1x35 scale. This one here, the 24621, as again a T2, but in this different scale, 152 pieces. To expected price around $30 US, which I think, if that is actually the price, would be on a bit too high for such a small car, but that's just me. With that, we are done with Cobi. Again, I keep repeating myself. This is all quite early, but I think, yeah, if all of this stuff comes, there's a ton of interesting sets in here. With that, we're moving on to Funhole. And here we have just 2 quick updates because we now have official pictures. And in case of the graffiti bus stop, also the manuals already available online. 9066, the graffiti bus stop, definitely is set I intend to build personally. For minifigures, 514 pieces, nothing has changed there, and you have it already available over in Asia, starting from $45 US. It does not seem to be on Amazon yet, but as always, I recommend to wait until Funhole has this in the Amazon warehouse, because this is the main distribution channel by Funhole over here in the West, at least in North America and Europe. That they use the Amazon warehouse, and then they have their own store in the Amazon marketplace. So this is usually the best way to acquire these. But I would not necessarily. It can still be a lot cheaper to order these from Chinese retailers directly from China. But I would that's my general recommendation with Funhole, the same as Pantasy, just to wait until they have this on Amazon to give you a better overview on the pricing situation. Anyhow, 9066 official pictures now, and the same is true for Home Gardening Greenhouse. 9059, again, sets I talked about before. The only update is that we now have all the official pictures and a lot more detail on the picture side. So if you're still unsure, this may be for you. Funhole has this one listed in their own store for around $90 US. And then we have from Happy Build / Powerblock. So Powerblock is kind of a sub-brand of the same company. I just sorted this under Happy Build. And what they make under the Powerblock brand are just smaller vehicles, something that is maybe in the ballpark of what Lego would call a speed champion, like 8-stud cars usually in this area, in this size. They do this very high quality. At least the one that I have built had all pet printed pieces, quite amazing. 8849 is now the new one, the Christmas truck. And yeah, I mean, it is a fancy Christmas truck. That's about that. All of these sets usually come in these acrylic boxes that look like a container. And however, the very special thing about this Christmas version is that, as you can see, you have a couple of brick-built Santas basically running around, which is quite interesting. Looks like a fun set. $25 over in China. With that, moving on to Lego, and here we have the Icons French Cafe, the 10362. I am definitely thinking about building this one. It looks, I think, quite nice. It seems to be part of a new series. Like before, Lego is doing under the Icons series a lot of sub-series in quotes, like we had the Botanical Collection or the Modular Building Collection or Modular Building Series Collection, something like that. And now this one seems to be new Restaurants of the World, $80 US. It's not a cheap set. However, I would argue that for a Lego set, that is actually not too shabby. And it seems that everything that we see here is pet printed. As far as I can tell, based on these pictures, which may not be 100% authentic, but I'm pretty sure they are. It looks so that there are no stickers included. At least I have, oh no, maybe, oh no, I think these are stickers. I checked this multiple times. I couldn't see any stickers, but this here, these golden frames on the window. Yeah, so not sure. So I wanted to say there seems to be no stickers in the set, but I may be wrong here. Anyhow, 1,101 pieces. It's going to release March 1st. And then we have Disney's Lilo and Stitch Beach House 43268, 834 pieces. It's going to cost you around $90 US. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen a couple of these as Lego Ideas entries. So now Lego is doing the set. It's not a Lego Idea set though. It's just a regular Disney set. Really like the minifigures. They look quite amazing. Again, going to be released March 1st. And then they have two sets that I personally don't really understand. They call this Cinderella's Dress 43266. $40 US, 8.4 cents a piece. One mini doll, I guess that's Cinderella. And I guess, yeah, I mean, it's her dress, brick built on a pedestal. And I think you can open this thing and then you have, I don't know, a cupboard or something like that on the inside. Sewing machine. No, sewing? I don't know. Ignore what I'm just saying. I know something is in this box below. And yeah, here you go, 474 pieces. And then you have, which I think is more interesting, Maleficent's and Cruella de Vil's dresses, 43262. I think this is from a new movie, Disney's Villains, that I at least haven't seen. And what I really like about this one is, again, the brick design. yeah, it's brick built dresses, so I'm not really sure about these, but the mini dolls look really amazing, both of them actually. And then you have, of course, also have the raven, I guess it is, and the small dog. Looks really, really nice. 524 pieces, so $70 US, 13.4 cents a piece. Whew, this is going to be expensive. Again, March 1st set. And then from Pantasy, we have from the Sitting Baby series, it's Pantasy Astro Boy series. So you have, I don't know, it's interesting. For these $75 US that Pantasy is mentioning here, you get a box of 6. But on the picture, you had 7. So I don't know which one you won't get. But in a nutshell, these are like small brick built Astro Boys. Yeah, I don't know. I think they look cute. I just don't sure if I need 6 of them. But anyhow, here from Pantasy 99128, $35 US. With that, we are done with set updates for this week. And last but not least, reading recommendation. I did build the HMHS Britannic 1618. So this is, of course, one of the sister ships of the Titanic. So originally they intended to build 3 ships, or they did build 3 ships, I think. The Olympic, the Britannic, and the Titanic, of course. I mean, everybody knows the Titanic, but the Britannic is also quite an interesting ship. I'm sorry, because yeah, it was built after the other. It was the last one. The most modern one, the safest one, because they took a lot of the lessons learned, including the sinking of the Titanic, into the design of this ship. However, when it was done, the First World War had already started, so they put this one into Her Majesty's service, or His Majesty's service. Who was king or queen back in the day? I can't recall. Anyhow, I think it was His Majesty's service. Anyhow, it was a hospital ship, and however, it did sink. It never made it through the war. I think it was sunk by a mine hit. 30 people lost their lives. His Majesty's hospital ship. Okay, this is what HMHS is for. Anyhow, Cobi has done a 1x700 scale set about this one. And basically like the similar Titanic. However, I think with the color scheme, it is a more interesting set. I had a ton of fun building this one. A lot of the detail though, and of course, that's a big difference compared to the 1x300 Titanic we just talked about, is that a lot of the detail comes from printing. As always with Cobi, it's pet printing, of course. Pretty good material quality. However, they have a problem with micro scratches. I was able to basically show this here with this picture. I mean, in reality, it doesn't look that bad. I mean, I used my macro to get as close as possible to show you what I was talking about when I talked about micro scratches. But next to that, I think a pretty decent ship. Looks really, really beautiful. Quite a nice design by Cobi. If you're interested, check out the review. I will link it down below. With that, we're done with reading recommendations, coming into MOCs of the week. And here we have kind of a modification of the Tudor Center. So it's called the Tudor Center. It's a modification of the Tudor Corner. By Dijo. It has 4004 parts, so you need basically 10350 Tudor corner and then 875 extra pieces. As far as I can tell, I think the description is not that clear. You don't get what you see here, you just get this left part of this building, right? So if you want to have it like this one here, you need actually the set 2 times, right? The Tudor corner and then the Tudor center, and then you have this much larger design, which looks really, really beautiful. But yeah, no, actually I think I'm wrong. They just added 16 studs, so it's not like 2 buildings, it's like 1.5. Okay, I think I was wrong. No. This is wrong. I think it is actually what all you need. You need the Tudor corner, and then you need these additional almost 900 pieces, and then you get these, which is basically in a similar size to what was the Lego modular assembly square, I think it was. I think this is the same idea, but as you can see with these pieces, you don't get a lot of interior. I think the 875 pieces are more focused on the exterior side. Anyhow, let's move on to another amazing mock by Legate of Legion, the Samurai Castle. Looks really beautiful. What a nice design of a samurai castle. I really like the color scheme. I also really like Lego's Himeji Castle, but this one, of course, is a lot more colorful. Looks almost like Ninjago, but it's also, of course, a lot bigger, more in the minifigure direction. 6,680 pieces, not too shabby. Legate of Legion is asking for $20 for the instructions. And however, if that is not enough for you, you may be in the game for the Medieval Castle by Pontus German MOCs, 21,090 pieces. So this is an enormous castle, of course not as big as what Sir Percival, for instance, has done, and you can also download from Rebrickable with almost 120,000 pieces, something like that, but still, it is a very mighty and large castle, highly detailed. I really like the design. It has an amazing design, interesting details. So, and I would argue that this is a castle that actually is up to scale for minifigures, and you know, something like that is actually something you may have been able to find somewhere in Europe. So yeah, a really beautiful design. That I think it has a lot of fantastical, in quotes, castle elements to it, but it's also very authentic by means of medieval. Very interesting building techniques. Yeah, really like the design. It has it all, right? It's very large, very authentic, very detailed, interesting building techniques. So, however, I guess you will need a pretty penny to get this one built with 21,000 pieces, at least if you want to build it using Lego bricks. With that, we're moving on to the Lego Space Marine Blade Guard Kopaka. Warhammer 40k plus Bionicle is the name, by Demon 1408. For me, it's a Space Marine, and it looks amazing. Always been a big fan of Warhammer 40k, so this one has only 978 parts, and as you can see, not just a render, but actually built for real, which is always a good sign, because I guess to build such a figure in a robust way is not that easy. Really like the design. The 40k vibe is coming across. If you're more into Halo, this mock here may be for you by MHBrixx, 8,504 pieces. It's only a render though, so I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna work, but as always, I mean, don't trust such large mocks until you have built them for yourself. Building a vehicle with that many pieces in this scale is for sure not easy, but it looks amazing. And yeah, really liking this design. And I'm not even a Halo person, so I've even no idea how authentic this is, but it looks gigantic for sure, and it looks amazing, and it looks like an evil thing. Right? You don't want to argue with somebody who has such a vehicle. That is for sure. $20 US for the instructions. And then we have a brilliant architecture design by BlueBrixx, the Vatican City, 4,879 pieces for $18. So I have built the St. Peter's Church by BlueBrixx, which is also architecture, but it is a lot larger than this one. And was always, when I was building this one back in the day, I was always dreaming about, hey, in this scale, you know, how cool would it to basically build the entire city. And I think this is what has been done here. Yes, this one is smaller, but I mean, it's amazing. You get the entire city with, I mean, Vatican, with a bit less than 5,000 pieces. Still looks very detailed. I also really like the color scheme. Beautiful design, including the walls and everything. So yeah, definitely something that you may want to check out if you're into a Roman or a Catholic church history, or just into architecture. Really looks amazing, and only $18 for the instructions. And with that, moving on to the Wolf Lord's Den, like I talked about last week. There's a lot of Wolfpack stuff right now on Rebrickable, I think, and this of course has to do with that finally it's now possible to get a decent number of minifigures. I mean, the minifigure collector series, I think 27 Wolfpack Beastmaster, I think it's very hard to come by, based on what people who are collectors tell me. I have one, but I think it's not easy to buy them these days, because yeah, it's the most sought after minifigure from the entire series. But nevertheless, there is more Wolfpack available, and also Lego was selling Pick-a-Brick stuff, or through Pick-a-Brick Wolfpack stuff. So that's why I think Wolfpack MOCs are quite popular right now. And this one, however, it has an entirely different theme, because usually Wolfpack is more presented like, okay, these are the guys living in the woods and, you know, and basically are burglars or whatever. But this one here is more like almost like a Lord of the Rings Mordor vibe, something like that. Like it's a black castle, black and deep red, and it looks kind of scary, which I think is a nice touch, a nice concept for the wolf pack. Let's put it that way. $18 US is BlueBrixx, the designer, asking for 3,123 pieces. Quite an interesting design. And then we come to the Small Town Brewery by Replica of Life. This is a designer I actually know. He's also from my community over here in Germany. And he has actually done 2 designs, I think, for Kada at this point in time, the Buckingham Palace and the London Underground Station. I can't really recall the exact name of the set. Very talented designer. So far, only been, working on Flickr, posting pictures of his designs. But now I think for the very first time, he has joined Rebrickable and is now also selling instructions. And I really like this thing. I mean, this is kind of a German design. In fact, Die Dorfbrauerei is basically like, small town brewery in German, and Biergarten, I guess, is a word that may even be known outside of German speaking countries, because of course Biergarten is quite a famous thing over in Bavaria especially. So Munich Biergarten, I guess, is something that some people may be familiar with. And anyhow, it's done by Tobias, like I said, 2,963 pieces, and it's a beautiful design. I'm a huge fan, and as you can see based on these pictures, first of all, they're pretty good pictures, so this designer is usually hanging around Flickr, but also it shows it has been built for real, which is always a good sign for a mock. With that, we are done with the show. As always, wherever you see this or watch this, like, follow, rate, subscribe, the social media drill. All of it is highly appreciated. And in addition, whenever you build or have built any sets out there that are in the database, and we have almost 23,000 sets at this point in time, so hopefully every set that you can imagine by Lego or non-Lego is listed in the database. If you have built it, one thing that really helps out the community, give the set a rating, 1 to 10 stars quite easily. And as soon as we have enough ratings of a set, as we have a quorum, we will publish this on the site. This always helps people out. Plus, if some of these information, like the amount of pieces, minifigures, building steps, building faces, /backs, all this kind of data, if something is missing or wrong, just click this link, missing or wrong data, and then you get a form that you can use to send me a data fix, which is highly appreciated. With that, thanks for listening. See you next week.